makes no difference what you're going through. You're gonna make it. God's gonna see you through. Hold your head up, put a smile on your face. This is another test. He's gonna last always. Get ready for your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. For your blessing. Get ready for your miracle. I know you've been hurting deep down inside. Let me encourage you. It's gonna be alright. Troubles and trials.
Good morning.
Make you strong.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about this. It's a broadcast and not a show. You won't see Oprah Winfrey doing that. Oprah said, wait a minute, I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta take a cut.
I gotta go, wait, hold on. You wait a minute. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things should be added unto you. We're gonna have a great broadcast this morning, folks. We got Rory T. Edwards in the house. We're gonna be talking about history, and the topic today, will history repeat itself? And I say yes, if you let it. Okay, so we're going to talk about the history. Without further ado, we're going to, how you doing, Mr. Rory T. Edwards?
Yes, sir.
He's back in the house.
Back.
Yeah, finally. But we're going to open up the lines. The lines are open at 404-286-6700. That's 404-286-6700. I look like it was a little slanted.
Right,
A little bit. Hold on. Over it. Fix that for me. Hold on. Let's get it. Let's straighten it.
There we go.
That's a little better, huh? That's a little better?
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Right on the set. Okay. And again, the lines are open. 404-286-6700. Rory, on your show last week, what was the topic?
Well, we start off with being Black History Month. We talked about has the black church been a detriment, black church, black religion, has it been a detriment to the black and brown community, or has it been one of the pillars of strength?
Yes.
And the reason why I chose that to start off with is because, you know, a lot of times when people say a few things you never discuss with people are religion and politics. Because usually what that does is it attacks people's foundations.
Yes.
And usually that's what people are holding on to get them through the day, or to make them feel that there's something of a higher power that is guiding them. So
yes.
The four areas that we're going to concentrate on this month, last week was about religion and the black church. This week is about education.
Yes.
You know, which is very dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about has the educational system post-slavery and post-Brown versus Board of Education bill, has that helped the educational system for our children, or have we suffered from that decision?
We're gonna find out the thing.
We're gonna talk to people. I got some great information that I'd like to share.
Yes.
And then the following week we're gonna talk about one of the other pillars that I believe that was we already got somebody.
He said, wait a minute, you talking about my God. Good morning, you on the air?
I'm on the air?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Who's this?
I'm sorry. I'm Gary Tavares. I'm going to be being interviewed there on Monday. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Just calling.
No, that's all right. We getting ready to talk some history. Do you want to stay on the line and be a part of it, or you want to just log on?
Okay. Well, I was actually driving. I'm probably just trying to listen.
Go ahead.
Possible.
Okay, go on. We'll stay right there then. We're going to go ahead and listen. Okay. You said the third part?
Is the social and civic organizations.
Yes.
The social organizations such as the NAACP, the Urban League, the fraternities and sororities, all of those organizations that have been charged or have taken on charges in their mission statements to prevent certain things from happening into the black and brown community.
Yes.
And then the final week is going to be the political arena. Have we actually gone to make decisions, or have we sat in on decisions that have been detrimental to our actual communities? So those are the 4 pillars that we're going to address. And the reason why we chose those is because, first of all, there's so many people that get an opportunity to talk for the masses.
Yes.
And we talk about holding our president accountable, but what about those ones who are talking? Do we hold them accountable?
Right.
You know, because people can always talk about somebody else, but, you know, that thing is when you get up in the morning and look in the mirror, what is it that you're doing?
Right.
That is making changes.
Exactly.
And if you're talking about people, what are you talking about? Are you talking about helping them, or are you talking about...
You're part of the problem, you're part of the solution.
That's all. It's a very simple process. It's a very simple process. So, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find out from the people in the masses that listen to the show.
And that's very important, Rory.
It's totally important.
And that's why I do this broadcast, because I say, wait a minute. I mean, we're dealing with our youth now, and this is our future. We always say that.
Yeah.
The youth is our future. The youth is our future. Yeah, but what are we feeding this future, you know? So,
and what are we allowing other people to feed them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what role are you playing
Right.
in the future of our people?
Right. I mean, if you take your child, if you have an opportunity to take your child to feed them healthy or to go to McDonald's, which one's easier for you? And I'm not saying McDonald's, you know, feeds people unhealthy.
Yeah, but if you're doing it all the time.
If you're doing it all the time, any fast food restaurant.
But that's what you feed your child, then that's what your child becomes.
Correct. Yeah. It was there's a story. Let me share this story with you about I do with these workshops that I did with a young man one time who was telling me about how he felt that he wasn't getting everything that he deserved to get.
Wow.
And so I told them is that, you know, like now if you look at the lottery numbers, the numbers are kind of high. So you get, the higher the number gets, the more people that go out and play, right? So I went into my bank. I really didn't play the lottery. I went into the bank and I wrote out a withdrawal slip for $1 million.
Yes.
And I took it up to the counter, and the bank teller, she knew me. So I gave her the slip, and she said, she looked at me, she pulled up my account, she looked back up at me, and she said, Mr. Edwards, do you know what you wrote on the slip? And I said, yeah, I know what I wrote on the slip, right? And she said, well, are you serious or are you playing? I said, I'm serious. So then she said, hold on a second.
She called the police.
No, I know, but she probably would have. But what she did is she went back to her manager. She got her manager, and he came up. He said, hey, Mr. Evans, I said, how you doing today? He said, I'm doing well. And he said, I'm not going to say the young lady's name, told me that on your slip you said you want to withdraw $1 million.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, I do. And he says, well, Mr. Evans, you really don't have $1 million in there. I said, well, I'm sorry. Let me explain to you what I was thinking. I said, what happened was I played the lottery numbers. And I just knew that I know I'm going to win tomorrow.
Ooh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and redeposit a lot more money into the bank. But right now I need to get prepared for my celebration party.
Right.
So I'm trying to get some money in advance to get money for my celebration party. And he said, well, you know, we can't do that. So I said, okay. He said, but definitely come back tomorrow. We'll take your money. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I say that to say that in most cases, a lot of times we try to withdraw from our what we believe our foundation of knowledge, but we haven't deposited anything into that account for us to withdraw from.
Come on now.
Right? So we talk about the state of our kids, but we as the depositors have not deposited anything into their account, but the fact that we made it. The song said we made it, right?
Yes.
We made it. We haven't made anything.
Yeah.
We've made some changes.
Yeah. Or adjustments.
Adjustments or something, but we haven't made it yet. We have a long way to go. We see it every day in the actions and some of the statements that are still made about the condition for which we're in.
Oh, where we come from and where we come from.
Right.
Oh, we made it.
Right.
It ain't like it used to be.
Correct. That's definitely
It's a lot like it used to be.
Correct.
It's just adjusted.
It looks different.
Yeah.
Right? It looks different. So
They get ready to attack you already. Hold on, beloved. You gonna stay with us? Hold on. Calling you on the air.
Sir,
Yes.
how's it going? This is Aristotle Collins.
Hey, Aristotle, we're on the air right now.
Oh, okay. We'll talk a little bit later then.
Okay, I called back.
Interruption.
No, you're not interrupting me. If you want to be part of the show, if you're tuned in now, you're online or you're in your car?
Yeah, I'm in my car, but I'm at work.
Okay, do you need us to call you back?
Yes, please. Well, yes.
If we don't call you back.
I'll check back with you guys later.
Okay, around 9.
Okay.
All right, peace.
Okay, all right.
Peace.
All right, thank you.
Okay, brother, you still with us? Nope. I'm gonna make sure you're with us. All right. I love broadcast. Oprah, take that call, man.
right, we need to get in here. Let her get it do a job, right?
That's it. Okay. The positive. What now? The first pillar.
Correct.
What is the first pillar? Now again.
The church and religion.
Let's go.
Well, I had two great guests. I had what I'm trying to do is bring an older perspective and a more youthful perspective, and see how the two within the same sort of see the evolution of this process.
Yes.
And I had Bishop George Gay, who was a longtime friend,
Yes.
who came in and gave his views, and he talked about the historical component of how the church was started during slavery and how it evolved out of slavery. And then I had a young gentleman who I mentored, who's has a wonderful following in Chicago.
Yes.
Dr. John Smith. And I think one of the greatest points that he brought up in talking about children, he says one of the biggest conversations in all of the national conventions and the conversation he has amongst colleagues is that we need to get more youth in the church.
Yeah. Okay.
But the point that he made was that youth never went to church.
No.
They were brought to church.
They're made to go to church. There you go.
Because it was supposed to be the place that you got your substance, your foundation, your direction, your guidance, all of the things that were also reiterated by your parents.
Yes.
Because, you can tell your child something 10, 20 times, and they don't hear you, and then somebody else comes from right behind them and says the same thing, and it all of a sudden clicks.
Not even in a different way. They said the same way.
Right, and all of a sudden your children get it. And so in some cases, that was the role of the church in the community, was to be the place, the one-stop shop.
Yes.
Where you can get everything you need. If you needed guidance, you can get it from there. If you needed financial stability, you can get it there. If you needed
marriage counseling,
any addiction counseling, anything that
money.
you need, yeah, the church was the place that you can go get it.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing and one of the things that I say all the time is that he said also in his delivery was that a lot of people say they're spiritual, but spiritual also means that you have to identify with something.
Yes.
That what's the names now. My there was this movie before with Denzel. Was it Denzel? No, it was Lawrence Fishburne, and he was an old gangster. And one time he said, the lady asked him about going into the church, and he said, God and I have an agreement. I don't get in his business, and he don't get in my business, right? And so one of his good friends got beat up real bad and got killed, and he had to go into the church. And so the thing a lot of people say is you have to go to the churches so that you can get the blessings with the masses. But I think, in my opinion, hopefully this will get some people to call, because I'm going to try to ruffle a few feathers.
Not few.
I'm going to try to ruffle a few feathers just to get some conversation, some dialogue on. Because I don't want to be an authority on the church.
Yes.
All I want to do is be able to be served by the Creator.
Absolutely.
Right. So, to serve the Creator, to do what God's will is for me to do.
Absolutely.
So, I've been in churches where the whole time, instead of concentrating on the front, every time the door opens, everybody's looking.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking,
I
right?
noticed that, yeah.
People looking down the aisle to see what you wearing and what you got on.
Who's clapping, whatever.
Right. Who's got the Holy Spirit? Who's doing what they're supposed to be doing instead of you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Yes.
It's also those convenient Christians or convenient churchgoers
Yes.
that will see you doing something and then use the Bible to sort of eradicate your behavior.
Yes.
But I guess, in my opinion, I've heard that if you're doing that, you're judging. So if it says in the Bible, I guess you're not supposed to judge either. The only judge is the Creator.
Yeah.
Right? When you meet Him,
Yes.
He'll judge you by what you've done.
There you
Right?
go.
And so I think that one of the things that we talked about was has it gone too commercial?
Yes.
Have people taken on the role of sort of judger to judge where you go, you believe you go after you leave here.
Yes.
And so those are some of the things.
Heaven or hell.
Whatever. That's what you believe in.
That's only two things that these people, that people actually deal with.
Right.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah.
This is heavy.
So I think that when people are talking about the spiritual aspect of it,
Go ahead. Keep talking.
the thing is that you have to believe. I think there's no person here on this planet who's logical, who can think that there is not some higher power. I mean, just logically thinking. And I think you have to take it from your experiences. You know, if you've done something before that you've seen other people not make it out of, you have to think to yourself, what made me special that I made it out of there? What is my bigger purpose, right?
Yeah.
What is my bigger purpose? How come you see people die and you see someone who is in your mind, no value
whatsoever
to the world?
Yes.
And
Or
why-
even to themselves.
To themselves. Why is he or she living and this person died?
Yes.
So you question that, but if you believe that the Creator makes no mistakes, you weren't put here to think in the way that that Creator thinks.
You can't even come close.
You can't even come close. But you try to analyze it to find the answer.
Yes.
And I think that's where people get confused, is that your life has already been planned out, in my opinion. I think your life has already been planned out.
Yes.
And there's a path. And we all have walked the path, but some of us have gone into the woods, right? And if you go into the woods, sometimes as you walk and continue to walk in the woods, you get lost.
Yeah.
And so if you panic, sometimes you get more lost.
Right.
But if you sometimes, I tell people now the thing that I found that is so peaceful for me is that sometimes we just need to be still.
Yes.
If you just be still
Yes.
and listen, you'll get your direction.
Right.
You'll get your guidance from
And
the
that's
day.
what the people that goes in the woods, they actually come out.
Right.
Or if they don't come out the way they want, they still
They
go
still
on the
come
way they're supposed to go.
Right. That's right.
You know? And you're happy wherever exit you come out.
That's right. Because you came out.
Right.
And sometimes you wonder why. And I mean, I'm saying all this
Yes.
maybe to get some people out there who might be listening
Yes.
an opportunity to share and maybe enlighten you and I
On their path.
on their path or their experience, or they might again, I choose not to be an authority
Yes.
on religion.
Yes.
Because being an authority on religion means that you are going to try to get information from the Creator.
Yes.
The Creator gives you information in your time, in
Right.
your place.
Yeah. In your season.
That's right.
Now I want to get a little deeper with that.
Let's do this.
Let's do it, man. Commercialism in terms of the church. Let's play on that because I still want to go back to those two pastors.
Right.
Where did really? We'll talk. Then we're gonna get to the money.
Okay.
Let's get back to those two pastors. What did the old head and the new head? What conclusion did they come to in terms of how they see the church and what people are really getting out of church? Now, because there's people that don't go to church, right? And then what are you people getting out there that do go to church? And we're going back to even the children. What's going on with the children?
Right.
How are you going to get the masses of children to go to church?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
I think one of the things that was sort of that was a common message is that the one thing is that the church usually started in communities where black and brown people congregated.
Yes.
Now, there's another thing that we're going to talk about a little bit, of education.
Yes.
Now, when decisions were made during the civil rights movement to give us first of all, birthright as a man, but the signing of these declarations gave us the opportunity to assimilate.
Yes.
Right? Some people said, oh no, these passings gave us rights. No, those rights were ours by birth. Right? We allowed a group of individuals to tell us where we could eat, where we could sleep, where we could drink, where we could live, what we could drive, how much money we could make. And those were our birthrights based on this particular constitution, right?
Yeah.
That all men were created equal and they had the same rights, right?
Yeah.
But if we really engage in that conversation and engage in that constitution, it really shows us that we, as people of color, black especially, were considered 3/4 of a man, right? Of a person.
1/8 or whatever it was.
So we really didn't get the opportunity to be equal.
Yes.
So we were always under a little bit.
Yes.
Right. So these civil rights signing of amendments supposedly gave us those opportunities. Now we're going to treat you fair.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to treat you fair. Now.
Right.
So I think one of the things that he said was that was constant. The black church was placed in the community. Now when people started to assimilate, we made it again.
Yeah.
We moved out of those particular communities. The one thing that stayed in that community was the church. And so the church continues to serve those who may be in greatest need. But the resources that are pumped into the church, who are still in those communities, are not the same as those who move out of those communities.
Yes.
If you look at some of the mega churches, they're out of those main communities.
Yes.
If you're a member of those mega churches, most of the time you drive there, or it's on a bus line, so you can catch a bus there, or you can drive your fancy car there.
Yeah.
Because now you've made it.
Right.
And so I've made it, and what I've made is a jump into a different class.
Yes.
Growing up, I never heard about a middle class. I heard about the working class and the non-working class. I had never heard about a middle class. It was a middle class. It was made based on the fact money, right? You were in a different economic status based on your taxes, how much taxes you really paid.
Yeah.
But it also gave you an opportunity to split from those.
Yes. The have and the
have-nots, right? But I don't have, so I have a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm in a different class than you. I get different privileges than you because you're in a different class.
Yes.
I haven't assimilated into this class yet.
Yes.
But I'm striving to get there.
Yes.
Not realizing that all of those
documents
that were signed really told you you're going to stay in this class. There's going to be a few we're going to let go through.
Right.
Right, just like the salmon who do their migration every year.
Right.
There's a lot that get through.
Yes.
But a lot of them don't make it.
Yes.
So the thing is that what stayed constant was the black church in those communities. So some of them are serving those. There are some people who choose to branch off into different branches, different affiliations, different names. You know, I saw one the other day had about 6 names on it. I didn't know.
Deacon, doctor.
I didn't know what
Bishop.
who they were serving, but I guess they were serving somebody.
Yes.
But the thing is that we need to understand those are the things that stay constant.
Call you on the air.
May I please speak with Mark Hagen?
Hold on. Oh. Hey, I love broadcast. I do. I do. Excuse me. We're gonna get right back there. I want to talk about because I went back to church.
Right. You told me. You called me. You in the church.
Yeah. I did the wade in the water and all that.
Okay.
And did the whole 9 yards, right? But go ahead. But I love you talking about the classroom because you got, I look, even, it is ironic because now I'm in there and I see these different classes of people too, you know.
Right.
Some sit over here,
Right.
some sit over there.
Right.
You know, maybe the more downtrodden sits back here.
Right.
You know.
There's a position for everybody
Yeah.
in every arena that we have established. And that's because we've been brainwashed to believe that if you have material things more than somebody else,
Yes.
that you're better than them.
Yes.
It's not that you're better than them, it's just that an opportunity occurred for you that may not have occurred for them at the same time.
Time.
Or they might have had it, but they perished and weren't prepared to fulfill that because it came to them too soon. Or it came to them in the wrong time.
Yes.
Everything that you do comes into you for the wrong time, the right time, and every time that you receive it, it may be a test just to see if you think you're ready.
Yes.
So many people ask and ask and ask for something, and then when they get it, they're unable to handle it.
They're not prepared.
Right.
To handle it. Well, they have been taught to be prepared.
That's right. And so that's exactly what we're talking about with our children. The thing that you're doing is teaching them to be entrepreneurs. Is, you know, I remember I shared with you the story about the gentleman who I did the workshop with in Detroit.
Yeah, we go. Tell us again.
I was doing a workshop. One of my first workshops I did when I branched off to do this independent contracting consulting job. And I spoke to a young older gentleman who had worked for General Motors for 45 years. And he said that he had never missed a day of work in 45 years. Never. They had to force him to take his vacation because he just was so dedicated to the work. It provided an opportunity for him to put all his children through college. It was good money. And he said the day on Friday when he left, he said, same thing as every Friday. See you Monday, great, you know, nothing different. And he said he got up on Monday and came back to the plant. The chains were on the gates.
Yes.
The whole plant had left like it never existed.
Wow.
And the thing he said that hurt him was the most is not the fact that it was closed, because he had served them 45 years, but the fact that they didn't have the decency to at least pull him to the side and whisper in his ear, "You gave us 45 years of service.
Yeah.
Don't even get up on money because we're going to be gone."
Lord have mercy.
And so the thing that you're doing is teaching children entrepreneurship. Is the fact that I tell people all the time now, the hardest person that's going to work for you is who?
You.
Is you.
Ain't nobody gonna put in the time like you gonna put in there.
Gonna put in the time like you gonna put in the time. And the other thing is that nobody, when you're hungry, can nobody feed you except you.
That's it.
So if you're sitting around the house and you want to play PlayStation all day and you want to just sit around and blame society,
The blame game.
yeah, then what happens is that you become hungry.
Yes.
And hunger pains are nothing to play with.
I know. It's nothing nice, man.
Nothing nice at all. And so that's the thing that we're talking about is we're going to continue tomorrow with Dr. Smith to come back a little bit and share some of the things that he's doing in his church to teach the children entrepreneurship.
And I'm glad before we're going to segue into that.
Yeah.
Now I want to go still deal with the church a little bit because we got time. We got the whole hour.
Okay.
So the deal is, what do you think about the children separating in the church? I mean, usually, I remember when I was going to church, there was no such thing as a youth ministry per se.
Right.
I mean, they would the father, and they would clap. I was right there clapping right along with them.
Right.
So, how do you feel about that separation? Because I think I'm going to tell you my opinion first.
Okay.
I don't like it. I think there's a reason why, and until I know the reason why they do it,
Right.
I will never know. But I feel that when they get to a certain age, they're 5, 6 years old, they need to be right there learning right after whatever we're learning.
Right.
Because I think that separation, it keeps the separation going.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why you don't get. I think you got the kids even want to deal with church anymore because they've been separated. So once it's their turn to get back They don't even want to go back.
Right. Yeah. So I'm speaking from my opinion. I'm speaking from my opinion because I haven't frequented a church in a little while. I went to, it was funny. I went to Las Vegas over the winter break, over the hot winter break, like I'm in school now. Over the holidays, and spent quite a few weeks with my children, grandchildren.
Yes.
Got to see some family, and so I did. One of the requests of my daughter was that, we all go to Dad? Can you go to church with us on Christmas? And I went to church. I'm not gonna say what I experienced, but
I don't know why not.
I don't think because again, it's attacking someone's foundation.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, we all different.
Right, we are different.
Yeah.
But I realized, let's put it this way, I realized why I don't go to church. How about that?
Okay.
All right, so the thing is that, so I can't say, this is only my opinion. So I can say is that I believe that when you go in to a church to hear the word of God or the Creator or Allah, or Buddha, or Jehovah, whomever you serve, that for us to grow as a family unit, we need to be able to take that particular word and go home and sit down and digest it and then regurgitate it on how it affects and builds our family.
Yes.
Now, if you're downstairs and a youth minister wants to be the head minister, he's talking about a whole different message.
Yes.
He's upstairs telling a different message. So the messages, in my opinion, may not gel.
Yes.
The children are hearing two different messages.
Yes.
The children are hearing a message, the adults are hearing a message, and so when we go home, we don't have the opportunity to
break
dialogue.
it
And that's one of the things that
this
I think
is what I'm talking about.
That's the things. That's my opinion on what needs to happen, on why you separate them, because kids do ask questions.
Right.
What was he talking about, Mommy? What was he talking about, Daddy? So what that does is give the family an opportunity to sit down and have some dialogue. No longer does the family eat together. Very seldom do they do group activities together. It's probably a vacation, where someone in the family's chosen that vacation. The father may want to watch sports, but the mother wants to go to Disneyland, or Disney World, whatever it's called. And so, you may find 4 people happy, 1 person unhappy. It's because we've never made decisions together. And so, if the foundation, your strongest conviction to growth is through your spiritual growth, then you have to hear the word as a family unit.
So we answered that question.
I think I am, based on my opinion.
I think we did. We both agree on that.
Right. Yes.
Now, if you don't agree, feel free to call in and tell us why. Because I don't know. I don't really have the answers to this. 404-286-6700. 404-286-6700. Okay. Now we're gonna go off into the children, because tomorrow's is about education. Okay, take us your topic. Matter of fact, before we do that, how can they log on and hear you?
You can go to WXRP Blog Talk Radio, the Rory T. Edwards Show with Sheila Robinson. You can call 646. I thought I knew the number by hand.
I was waiting. I'm sitting there. I know he ain't.
478-3474. I'm going to see 646-478-3474. And if I got that right, that means I'm on the road to recovery.
Say that number again.
Let's see if I got it right. Let's see. What? 646-478-3474.
Right.
I said it. I said it right.
Finally got it.
646-478-3474.
Or they go on Facebook and they go on Google Rory T. Edwards.
Yeah, you go on the Facebook page. It's the Rory T. Edwards Show. You can dialogue with us on Facebook and get involved in the conversation. You also can make comments on other past shows. One of the things that we try to do is bring up every week in the beginning of the show. What we do is recall from last week's show.
Yes.
So we try to answer some of the questions or try to get people what people have said on Facebook to talk about. But we definitely want solutions
Yes.
Because we know all the problems.
Yes.
The people talk about the same
Oh,
problems.
yes.
And then when they make it personal, they say, you know, this is what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So most people's stories are not unique.
Yes.
It's happened to someone else in some other form or fashion.
Yes.
It's just the fact that we've never got a solution for it. So that's why it continues to becoming a problem.
Yes.
Right? So...
that's why I said, will history repeat itself?
Right, that's right.
You know? And I want to now get into tomorrow's show.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's show is exactly what and where you going with that show?
Well, what we're going to do in the beginning is sort of post-segue from last week's show about, again, the church being the foundation for the learning institution for black and brown communities. Initially, you know, we weren't coming out of slavery. If you were caught reading, you could be hung.
Right.
If you were caught reading, you could be beaten. If you were of value, you would just be beaten.
Yes.
If you had no value, you would be killed.
Yes.
Hung, burned, castrated, all of those things that were done to our people.
Yes.
During that particular time, because they understood that if you read, then you had the ability to empower others.
Yes.
Reading is a tool that takes you from one level to another level.
Mm-hmm.
I shared with some kids the other day. We did a little reading initiative at a school, and I told them the great thing about learning how to read is reading can introduce you to anybody in the world.
Wow.
And reading can also take you anywhere in the world you want to go.
Nice.
Because see, we were gifted with an imagination that we can close our eyes and we can envision anything we want to do. Mm-hmm. And being able to read gives you the opportunity to store those words in your memory bank and then paint a picture as you recite that back to yourself while you're sitting there, sort of deciphering the reading that you just did. So. The one thing that we know is that reading took on a major burst coming out of slavery.
Yes.
And the church was the place where, you could safely be able to read.
Yes.
Even though Jim Crow laws did attack churches.
Yes.
They still sort of gave them a pass. And so that's why the masses flocked to the church, because during that time, not only were you learning about God, you also learning how to read.
Yes.
And so
nice.
The thing is that what we're doing is we want to know one of the major decisions in our country took place 1954, May 17, 1954, the Brown versus Board of Education decision. And one of the things that occurred was that this came out of an earlier decision, 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson, that denied states the opportunity to have equal educational opportunities for black and brown and white individuals in this country. And so this decision was a Supreme Court decision that
another writing.
Correct.
The other
paper signed. but it catapulted at that time who was the NAACP's chief legal officer, who was Thurgood Marshall, who later became one of the Supreme Court justices, and was the first African American Supreme Court justice. And currently we have a black on.
That's Clarence
Thomas.
Okay.
Just like I said, you said we have a black skinned individual on the Supreme Court. But I think that Clarence Thomas, and I'm just observing basically what he said. So I don't have an opinion. The only thing I do is say, I know not of you. There's a saying I always say, I know not of you until you open your mouth.
Yes.
And so some of the things that he says is why he has problems with blacks, is because he was teased as a young person about his color. And we've all been teased about something coming up. That's just the game. That's the dozens they used to call it, right? Talk about your mama, talk about your face, talk about your head, whatever. And so if you hold on to that, then you become shallow, right?
Yes.
But I say that to say that this decision in 1954 took place, and what it did, there's two things that I believe. I believe in this, that it helped people to feel like we had accomplished something, right? We're now able to go into the big schools, and what I brought is what's the great thing is what I brought is when I pulled it up, there's different people who are throughout the country, and actually there's the daughter of Reverend Oliver Brown, the namesake of Brown versus Board of Education and co-founder of the Brown Foundation, who made a statement about how she feels about it. And I want to read that because it's
this is good stuff.
Yeah. It's really intriguing, or it's really, I think in reality, if people really are believing in this process, they would also look at that. One of the other people is Rob Page. Rob Page used to be the Secretary of Education. Now, I met Rob Page.
Was he a black man?
He was. From
okay. Oh, he is.
He was.
He was.
He was under the Reagan administration. He was the first Secretary of Education under the Reagan, under Bush.
Okay.
George Bush.
He was the first black?
I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
Good question. Come on, some history people.
Yeah, come on, give me the word.
Google that. Google that. Like you Google me. You know? And so there's just some people who people might know who have made some of these particular what they stand.
That's for me.
I'm gonna leave it for you. I'll leave it for you. You can have it. But the thing is, for me, this is just again, and I want to say everybody has an opinion, but this is an educated opinion based on what my experiences and travel and journey has been for me.
Yes.
And one of the things that was even though I wasn't born yet when that passing took place, the one thing that I do know is that in black communities at that particular time, everybody lived in the community. The doctor, the dentist, the teachers, the lawyers, the blue collar workers, the alcoholics.
You walk right over there and knock on their door.
That's right. And everybody knew and everybody was accountable for the outcome of the children in that community. What Brown versus Board of Education did to those communities was then gave people the opportunity to believe that now I can move and eat and do all of those things that I was unable to do.
That other people are doing.
Right. My kids had to walk 20 miles to school when there was a school 1 mile from their house. And the schools were bigger. They had better resources. But you've ever been to a restaurant where, regardless of how great other people say, they still treat you like you don't belong?
It happens.
Right.
I mean, I went Denny's. I mean, they're the poster child for get you. What's the other one? Black and Barrel. Oh, I mean Cracker Barrel.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Black and Barrel now.
Right.
So they still in the news. So yeah.
Right. So what's and I'm gonna read some of these comments because some of that stuff they say that it gave them an opportunity to go to these schools, and it also made the federal government show them that they were special because they sent federal troops.
Yes.
So in me hearing that, I believe that it took away from the quality of the black teachers that were in those particular communities who were teaching the kids.
Yes.
And they were teaching the kids values,
Yes.
right? They weren't teaching them
just an
education. Learn how to, like we're teaching to the test now. They didn't teach them how to test. They teach them how to live.
Yes.
They teach them how to have negotiation skills. They teach them how to be who you are when you're with who you are with,
yes.
and to be who you need to be
yes.
when you have to go somewhere else.
Yes.
They taught them how to live in this world, which was ever-changing world, to give us the opportunity to be equal.
Right. They made sure you knew who you was.
That's right.
That was the main thing. That's why I teach the way I teach.
Right.
You gotta know who you are.
You gotta
know how to make money. You gotta know how to do this and
right.
how to do that because, I mean, the world is a terrible place.
And the one thing that's not attached to color, but it is attached to color, is green.
Yes.
If you have green, I give you opportunities and access to certain things that if you don't have green, that you can get to.
That's
right?
what really the civil rights movement was really about. It really was about really money, in my perspective.
Right.
It's about the ego to make money and to be able to take care of yourself.
Right.
More, it was an economic thing.
Well, one of the things that I posted yesterday on Facebook is that true manhood is one's ability to be able to die for their legacy.
Yes.
And you saw the sign with "I am a man." Why would you have to wear a sign in a country that tells you "I am a man" and be threatened by your life? For your life.
Excuse me. Let me see. Hold that down. Call you on the air.
Hey, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Trudy.
Trudy on the line.
Hey, good morning. How you doing? You got a comment?
Just commenting on the show in regards to parents and children. Just to let Rory T. Edwards know that I've been listening to him, and I didn't get a chance to say hey, but hello, and I really do like what you've been saying in regards to children, parents, and church. There's a lot of drama around church, but you're right. There's just a lot of detailed information in there that a lot of young folks don't know, and parents don't know on how to raise your kids these days.
Oh, thank you.
He said thank you. What do you feel? There was anything particular, like even the church, or how we were raised in the community about the schools? Do you have any comment, especially around our teaching, how we teach our children?
Well, my background has been a little different from you all because I was raised, from the Caribbean to up north. But, one thing I knew about church is, my mom, my grandma always encouraged us to go, kind of forced us, like you were saying. But for me, it worked out well. I hated going throughout my whole teenage life, but I had to go. And now that I'm grown and I don't have anyone forcing me, I do remember some of those teachings. So, we all go into church, and there's a lot of people that go there for a lot of public and looking at folks, but there's real folks in the church that are there for a real reason. And even if you're there and it seems like you're probably, checking folks out, because guys go to look for girls and girls go to look for guys, but I just say in the end, initially, you are going to have the teachings in your brain, and sometimes it does help you in your life as you get older.
Yes.
That's true.
That's absolutely true. And I was, this why, going back to church was a decision I made.
Right.
And it was a clear decision that I really wanted to do it. And now that I'm doing it, now even my son now, because I never really forced him to do anything.
Right.
Now he's inquiring about how is it in there.
Right.
Because you don't know what's going on in there. But I'm making my 14-year-old go.
Funny, how is it in there?
Yeah. He's like, what's going on? How you feel about it, right?
Right.
But the 14-year-old is what I'm doing. I'm making him go.
Right.
But I don't let him go always to the youth department.
Right.
I make him stay
Sit
right
in the
here.
big church and really hear the word.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want him to hear what I'm hearing. So
Right.
if he
when
is
I used to go to church and I went to the youth section, we just played around. Sometimes we'll go to the corner store, and we really didn't hear much, but for whatever reason, even if he is there in the atmosphere, he might not be listening, but it does come back to him. Maybe somebody might say a scripture, and he recognizes it because you've overheard it. But I just say, forcing might seem bad, but it worked for me. It might have not worked for everyone, but it really worked out for me that, she forced me to go, then I grew up, and now I'm on my own. I'll go on my own. There's no one here to force me, and I'll do the same for my children.
Right. That's it. It was so weird because now I'm thinking of it even back. My father, really, they made me go, right? So this is the deal. It was no youth department, right? Man, them ladies used to fall out on the floor. I seen people running around.
Right.
I'm like, but they gave me a chance to say, Pop, what's going on over here?
Right.
Oh, they getting the Holy Ghost. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And then, after a while, the song, I see people coming in. I said, oh shit. This is why I'm very, I exalt in church.
Right.
People might be sitting down. I'm standing up. I'm clapping. I think I clap the loudest. I praise the loudest than anybody. And people do walk up to me and say, wow, you're very exalting.
Right.
And I am. But But the one of the main keys, while I'm mentioning the church again, is they give me they give people opportunity if you want to create a ministry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's my end right there. That's what I want.
Okay.
I want to develop a grassroots economics ministry.
Right.
They do have entrepreneurial ministry, and I met the leader and all that, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to. You know, I don't think this is really going to help me help the community.
Right.
Because my thing is to reach down into the youth and the downtrodden and bring them really to the work. I know it's not. I really know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up recruiting for the church.
Right.
And actually recruit for the right reasons.
And that's what needs to happen.
You know, that's what needs to happen. That's what Rory just said.
Yeah.
But Trudy, thank you for calling in. This is what I want to do. Can you please give our listeners your number? Because I'm showing some of the work that you do, and I want to make sure that they know about you.
I appreciate that. Well, I am Trudy Prather. You can reach me at 678-651-7626. That's 678-651-7626. I specialize in graphic design, website design, logos, and definitely labeling for Sir Media Group. You can also reach me online at www.tapdesigners@gmail.com. So that's tapdesigners.com. So tapdesigners.com.
Give us your number again.
And my number is 678-651-7626. Give me a call, and I'll definitely help you out in getting your business going, your labels, and your marketing.
Amen, sister. God bless you. I thank you.
Have a great morning, and see you tomorrow, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Early in the morning.
All right.
I'll see you.
Early in the morning.
There you
Okay,
go.
Rory, nice speaking with you.
Likewise.
Peace and love.
All right.
And again, that Trudy Prather, if you need to get in touch with her, you didn't get the number quite right, just call me, Sir Mark, can do 404-286-6700, and I'll get you the number. So take us back in there, Rory.
Well, I think one of the great things that she talked about also is what she brought up as far as the Caribbean.
Yes.
Right? Now, I had probably one of the greatest, can't be the greatest joy I ever had was watching my children be born. The second greatest joy that I had was visiting Africa, 2005, and just to get to see all of how spiritually they were connected to what the reasons they were the greatest resource of everything.
Yeah, of their community. That was
of everything. Just of the world. Because of the world. They have the greatest resources of the world.
Yes.
And so when people dispute where mankind came from,
yes,
it only can come from the place that had the greatest resources. Now, we depreciated those resources by the slave trade.
Yes.
But the one thing that I found is going through a process of finding, one of the things that I want to do is this documentary that I'm in the process of doing, is for young men, is where we lost our thirst for excellence. Because even over there, they tell us that we are the greatest and the strongest of the race because we made it. Our ancestors made it. They survived all that torture and torment, and we've made it. So when we take advantage of this assimilation into a country to think we're better than our roots, then we don't harvest good fruit, which are our children. And I think in the Caribbean countries, regardless of the visual appearance that they live in third world conditions, visually,
yes,
spiritually, we can't hold a candle to.
They're on top of the world.
We can't hold a candle to.
Lord,
and the sad thing is that we have the material things because we believe that bigger's better, and that everything that glitters is not gold. We believe it's gold, but it's not gold.
Yes.
Because there's gold-plated stuff all out there, right? A whole bunch of gold-plated individuals, right?
Yes.
And so when we talk about education,
parlay on that in a minute.
Okay, when we talk about these individuals in education, we talk about, has Brown versus Board of Education been better for us, or has it created a generation of people who have lost their direction?
Lord have mercy.
And in my opinion, I've had people tell me all the time, well, if you look at what we've accomplished, all of the doctors that we have, people with letters behind their name, right? All of those doctors, all of the people with masters in business, masters in education, masters of social work. We have so many bachelor's degrees, higher than we've ever had in our entire life in this world. And you're going to say that this didn't help us? I then answer that question very simply, is that with all those degree individuals, me being one, we now have the highest rate of illiteracy in the world since slavery. We have the highest rate of dropout of black males in the world.
It's incredible.
We have the highest rate of illiteracy in the world, but we have all these intelligent people up here, and we have all these unintelligent people down here. And those intelligent people down here are the product of these people up here.
Yes. But the fruit, those are fruit.
That's the fruit.
Yeah.
That's the fruit. Exactly what I just said. When you assimilate the thing that she said about when you go to church, you get the message. Somebody might. All that information drops. It's our seeds.
Yes.
It just depends on what seeds fall into fertile ground.
Right.
When you see the spring and you see all the things blossoming and you see all the stuff dropping. Some may drop on the grass.
Yes.
Some may drop on the cement.
Yes.
Unless the wind blows that seed into a fertile ground, it will never grow.
Yes.
And if one drops into the ground and it's fertile and it's watered and it's nurtured and it's in the right temperature, something will grow out of it.
Yes.
So the thing that we must remember is that for us to take responsibility for the great, we must also take responsibility for the ungreat. Yes. Right? So the thing is that when we talk about all of this education stuff, we're going to get on that tomorrow because I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to ask the experts the question. Has Brown versus Board of Education, has the victory actually made us win the war? Yeah. Or was Brown versus
Was it worth it?
Was it worth it? Yeah. Or was it Vietnam?
Yes.
Because we went into Vietnam, right? And we lost so many troops.
Oh my God!
But we didn't win the war.
We didn't win the war.
So.
And that's the point. And just watching the first fruit.
Right.
The first fruit. I mean, that's the deal.
Right.
You can always tell. From the fruit.
Right.
If what the tree was doing.
What the
right?
tree produced.
So if the producers, you said, man, the oranges were nice. But then all of a sudden,
they started to get small.
The first fruits, you said, oh, this is going to be a bad year.
Right.
If the fruit guy ain't doing this. Right? Yes. So if you're looking at our kids now, you say, ooh, our future going to look really bad if we don't fix this. And that's why I love what you do. And I love what I do because my mind is, I got to help out. Yeah. We ain't looking at our youth the right way. We're in trouble. See, I'm not worried about, in my world is that I know that our future looks bright. Right. The kids and the youth that I touch, I know that they're going to touch some other kids because I demand them to do it. Right. I said, if I had one of my boys here yesterday, I said, I demand that you learn this right. Yeah. So that you can be able to do it yourself when it comes, that you can teach somebody else. Right. I said, do you understand? Right. They said, yes. Okay. And I said, well, that's what it's all about. You're not here to collect a check and get some money, and that's the end of it. Right. You're here to learn this and learn it right. So you can take care of yourself.
That's right. And I mean, the other thing is the greatest thing that happens, right? The greatest thing is that, again, the Creator makes no mistakes. Yes. He gave us 2 eyes, He gave us 2 ears, and He gave us 1 mouth.
Oh my God.
The key thing for us to move this forward is to listen.
Listen and watch what we're doing.
Listen, right?
Yes.
And if you listen, you get all your answers.
Tomorrow, give me some numbers and everything again.
3:00 p.m. WXRP Blog Talk Radio. It's called the Rory T. Edwards Show. The number to call in is 646-478-3474. Again, 646-478-3474. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow we're going to talk about education. Let's call with solutions.
That's what's up right there. Thank you, Mr. Rory
Thank you,
Edwards,
sir, for
T.
having me.
Edwards.
Yes, sir.
I'm Sir Markadu. Thank you again for tuning in. If you want to be interviewed, make sure you get in touch with me at 404-578-3549. And tomorrow, we're going to be here at 9 o'clock where we're going to learn more about technology, education, and be able to do the things that we were just talking about today. It's just teach our youth, okay? So thank you. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you comment. And make sure you follow, okay? God bless you and have an awesome, awesome day. Sir Media Group, we put your business in the streets. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it.